Good morning, everybody, and this is your DAX day trade setups for today, the 12th of January. So, should have actually held on to my trade yesterday, but I'll show you why I got out. Typically don't like holding on to trades when the oscillators are grouped like this on the higher time frames, and then you start seeing some negative price action. So I typically rather just bank the profits than worry about it. And anyway, it did hit target. So we are extremely overextended at the moment. So you can see oscillators are grouped to the upside for quite some time now. If I start looking at the daily, you can see big bar, almost a switch there, big bar, some pin bar, engulfing bar, then a bigger bar. So the price action here from a candlestick perspective, a little too early for me, is looking a little bit haywire. So it's not it's an upward trend, but it's not solid. So normally what you want is from the breakout, you get some big bars from the breakout, then it gradually starts tapering off like this. When you get all this these tails, or you get weird price action, then you get a strong bar like that right at the end of the move, that typically turns out to be an exhaustion bar. So doesn't mean that it's going to fall to the floor. It just means this move is looking like it's done, and on the higher time frames you're probably looking for a move lower down again. So we do have the level here at 14,847 that we need to just pay attention. In actual fact, I'm just going to fine tune that now. That needs to come back down to there. So that's your closest level at the moment, 14,837. And then obviously we've got this area here that we have not tested. We've also got this weekly gap. So we've got this massive weekly gap and sort of a breakaway gap at the moment. So for me at the moment, it's looking very interesting on the higher time frames. If this weekly level holds like this, you have a measured move, and I've said it many times, your measured move takes you pretty much back to the all-time highs here. So looking left, this is what we are really concentrating on. Come on. So we're really concentrating on this zone here. If we can get this weekly close above the next level in front of us, which is 15,052, it is game on. I suspect we will come back towards the all-time highs here. Okay, so enough on the higher time frames. Let's start getting down to what we can trade in the intraday perspective. So you can see all these gaps. We've got a gap here, we've got a gap there. We've got multiple smaller gaps in this move up. The move is strong. There's no two ways about that. You can't deny the fact that that is a strong move. But you can also not deny the fact that it is starting to look like a big wedge. So if we get down to the hour, I'm just going to delete this one. It's pointless holding on to that. I would be a little bit skeptical of jumping in at the top here. So I'd be wanting to see pullbacks onto structure. And I'm also going to get rid of this diagonal. So the one that I've been paying attention to is this one. And you can see this here, if you look left, it was a dip below 14,837, and I did take the trade down here, and I'll show you now why on the 15-minute. But I got out here. Okay, so it's 14,900 in this zone here is where I got out. Probably should have just moved stop a little bit higher and then just let it play out. But anyway, I'd rather bank the profit. And if we get down to the 15-minute, you'll see why I took this trade. So there was a cluster here. You can see there was a triangle breakout here on the lower time frames. And then just below it was this area here, which we didn't quite tag, but with that little bit of structure there, it did look interesting, especially with the tweezer bottom. So the risk here was relatively low. We're in an upward trend. I'm looking for basically a trade from there. So we're looking at that. That gives me 30-point stop loss basically for what we were aiming for was up there, which was 176 points. What we actually got was 105 points, I think I banked. So there definitely was merit for it. It's a 3-to-1 trade, small risk. Oscillators group to the downside above the 155. The reward structure to the left, it was a no-brainer, and we had a gap down here as well. We had a couple of gaps down at the market. So I suspect we're going to get the same kind of price action this morning. So you will dip lower onto some kind of structure, and then it's going to give us the opportunity to buy. And we are still aiming for 15,052 at the moment. So for me, I'm looking at 14,953, but then also pay attention to every other little tail here, because every one of them would offer some form of support. Not these ones, because price hasn't broken back below those, but definitely these ones, because price has broken above these tails here. So anyway, that's kind of the view that I've got at the moment. Oscillators easing off quite nicely, so you'd be wise to look at this from a perspective of we are in an uptrend and we are aiming for something higher, and this is what we're aiming for, 15,052. It is a weekly, it's a strong weekly level, and a weekly close above that is going to fool the bulls with a lot of confidence, and it's going to put a lot of pressure on the bears. So that is what we are aiming for right now. For now, the trend only reverses once we drop below yesterday's low at 14,800 here. Okay, so that's kind of my view today. Remember, keep those stop losses in. Don't try and second guess this. It is it can go against you anyway. Yeah, it just takes one bit of noise out there and we drop like a stone. So for me at the moment, trend is up, onwards and upwards. We're looking to buy. We need to be cautious though, because we are extremely overextended on the 8-hour. So it's still an upward trend, but you need to be careful. Don't try and do silly things. Okay, anyway, that's my view. Wait for the pullback, watch the structure, wait for price action, and then take the trade. Hope that app helps you, and we will catch up with you tomorrow morning. Cheers for now.